Hello and welcome to tonight's Express PD. I'm Monique from Japanese Reads, and tonight it's all about showcasing a really fabulous comprehensible input activity that you can use right away, whether you're planning for next week's lessons or your regular lessons, or if you're stepping into a relief teaching situation or some casual teaching. This is a low prep grab and go activity that you can do. And a big shout out to the fabulous Martina Becks and team at the Comprehensible Classroom, where this strategy I know is widely used with Spanish and French classrooms. And Martina has some amazing resources that are CI and acquisition focused. And a wonderful blog too. But tonight we are giving this a little Japanese twist. So if you're just starting out with comprehension-based teaching, this interactive slide will really support you and your students. So think of it like a bit like a training tool and a bit of scaffolding and support for you as you are getting used to the CI strategies, and hopefully it'll be a helpful guide while you're building up your confidence using acquisition-driven instruction and comprehensible input strategies. So it really leads you step by step through this one-word image process. And I myself will be using this next week when I'm stepping into some classes as our early literacy project winds up for this term, where I'm going in there and I'm working with some year 3 and 4 students, but certainly it can be adapted up to suit older students or students with who have a stronger language skills. So simply by tweaking the language that you use, the complexity and also the pace. So I'll just step you through what it is. And I have done my very first webinar was on one-word images. So if you'd like a little bit of an overview of that, please check out the webinar number 1, which is in Japanese Reads YouTube channel. So what is a one-word image? It is a collaborative activity where students help the teacher. You co-create a character and add more details. So it's one word because it's one thing that you start with, that you decide on as the character that you're going to bring to life. And then bit by bit, the class then adds extra detail one bit at a time. So it provides comprehensible input through really fun and interactive questions. And of course, the student choices, that's so important, giving the students the ownership there and the autonomy to choose part of where this is going. So it really is, it does become a bit like a choose your own adventure style. So there is student buy-in. So basically how to use this, you guide your students simply by asking simple scaffolded questions. And with this slideshow, you can use the clickable links to let your students vote on the different choices and to give their opinion on the options. So let's have a look. The first thing that I will be doing is I will just be setting some very simple boundaries or guidelines. This may be the first time that these students have used a one-word image activity. So I'll make sure that they are clear on what their job is and what my job is. So Sensei's job is to make it easy for them to understand, and I'll explain that the way that I do that is by gestures, by pointing to a word. It might be just saying the word in English and then quickly moving on, but making sure that everybody understands with the language that is being used. The student's job is to listen and follow along, and they need to show me that they understand, and also if they don't understand. So I would be encourage them to, when I say "いいですか?" "大丈夫ですか?" "Are you okay?" "Hi," "いいえ." So that will be an expectation that I will follow through on for all students. And "hi" and "ie." So at the most basic level, the students are showing comprehension and following along with the story. Even with super duper beginners, you can have them showing their comprehension or giving their opinion on something that you have said, or a question that you are asking about this one word image, by answering "hi" or "ie." So the first thing that I would be explaining is that we are going to create a character. So we're creating it together. It's a new thing, so it's not something that's already been created. It's not Hello Kitty. It's not a Pokemon character. It's something brand new. So we are going to skurimasu. We're going to create that together. We're going to imagine it and create it together. And so I would start with "nan desu ka?" "Nan desu ka?" And oops, we've just jumped. This one should go first. So I would say, first of all, "いいですか?" "Are you ready?" And then "hi" or "mochiron." And you can see here the clickable links. Now, I'm not going to click on them now because that will not, because that won't allow me to go through and show you. So I'm just going to click through, but the class would choose, and that clickable link will take them to the appropriate next slide. So it will be through to this one. So character wa dobutsu, mono, tabemono. So the images are there, and that allows for lots of circling to happen. So circling means repeating the question in a variety of different ways, recycling that limited language, so that the students don't just hear it once, they hear it quite a few times in lots of different ways. So to give an example of that, "Minasan, character wa nan desu ka?" "Nan desu ka?" What is it? "Nan desu ka?" "Character wa dobutsu desu ka? それともものですか?それとも食べ物ですか?" And then we would vote. So we'd vote. 動物ですか?手挙げて。1、2、3、4、5. And same for mono and 食べ物. So they would be guessing, and the winner with the most votes, we would click on that link. So as I said, this won't go through smoothly. So I will just click the regular way. So the next slide we'd be taken to the next slide, dobutsu. So if it was dobutsu, it would take you to this slide. So dobutsu wa, and then again, we're just giving another opportunity for the students to cast their vote and give a little bit more specific information about what type of animal. 動物は鳥ですか？犬ですか? Kujira desu ka? So you can hear that the questioning, there's lots of opportunities for the questioning, there's support with the images and the translations there too. Now, if that wasn't one of the, if that wasn't, if those three didn't grasp the interest of the class, there would be an opportunity to choose another one, chigao dobutsu, a different animal, which would take them to another slide. So, usagi desu ka? Dobutsu wa usagi desu ka? Dobutsu wa kirin desu ka? Nezumi desu ka? So you can see here lots of opportunities to recycle that language. And again, you wouldn't be going through this slide by slide in this order. This is just to show you what the options are, but the students will be choosing their one-word image and their details. And by clicking on the clickable links, it will take you to the next part of this process. So these are the options. Here's another page that could be linked depending on what the students choose. So lots of choice given here in a safe, scaffolded way. Now, if they hadn't chosen Dobutsu, if the students had actually been more interested in a thing, the link would have taken them to the mono page. So mono wa toaster desu ka? And then you've got the other options, water bottle and toke, or a different one. The different option might be one of these. Again, there are a few more, so 9 of each. There are 9 choices for each. And more mono options here. However, if it was tabemono, food, the options given could be hot dog, ichigo, fried potato. After they've decided what the one word is, whether it's a character, whether it's an object, a food, or an animal, then there's a little chance then, and it's a reminder too, almost like a built-in little mini brain break or a change in pace and activity. Check shimashou, let's check. So it's a chance for a little bit of reading and a little bit of speaking. So, mono desu, hot dog desu. So a chance then to say a couple of sentences about what you've created so far. So the next part, the next detail is saizu. Saizu wa ookii desu ka? Chugurai desu ka? Chisai desu ka? And again, depending on what the students choose, whether it's big, medium, or small, it will take them to another link, clickable link. So if we chose ookii, we would go to this slide, and again, it just extends a little bit further. Chotto ookii desu ka? Totemo ookii desu ka? Tottemo ookii desu ka? So again, there's more opportunity for the students to really co-create and come up with the details and have a bit of a voice. Again, if they'd chosen chisai, there's some recycled language here too. And the beauty of this style of activity is that with the choose your own adventure, you could do this, you could use this interactive slideshow a few different times and come up with something totally different. Again, the next slide after that little bit of detail about the size, would be to put it into a sentence. They can say this with a partner. They could do some reading. You could write out the sentence and they could copy it down. Check shimashou. So, hot dog wa ookii desu. The hot dog is big. Next up, namae wa nan desu ka? And lots of fun can be had with gathering lots of options, lots of suggestions about what the name could be and what it's not. I would also, that also reminds me of the great way that you can flip that. So not just what it is, but then recycling that language to say what it's not. So if you've decided that it is, that the name is Barry and Barry is a hot dog, so hot dog wa Tom desu ka? Iie, Tom janai desu. Hot dog wa Barry desu. So lots of chance to recycle that. Barry wa 大きいですかそれともとっても大きいですか So depending on what the students have co-created with you, you can then recycle that language again and repeat and rephrase, saying what it is and also what it's not. After namae, namae wa Barry desu. Its name is Barry. Nani iro desu ka? So you can say, choose the color. Barry wa pinku desu ka? Hai, iie. Pinku janai desu. And depending on the level and the language that they are familiar with, you can then extend that a little bit more by adding more detail yourselves. This is a basic structure, but you could then say, "Iie, Barry wa pinku ga suki janai desu." So you can add more information as you're comfortable using that, introducing that, and knowing what your students are familiar with. But if you are really a beginner, you can simply just go through these and ask these questions without adding any extra information. Hi, Barry wa? じゃあチェックしましょう。Barry は動物じゃないです。Barry は何ですか？はい、Barry は食べ物です。皆さん、Barry はバーガーですか？それともホットドッグですか？ホットドッグですね。Barry は寿司じゃないです。ピザじゃないです。Barry は皆さん何ですか？はい。Barry はホットドッグです。Barry は何色ですか？ Barry はピンクじゃないですね。はい。Barry は何ですか？何色ですか？赤です。はい。Barry は赤いホットドッグです。So there's a couple of options there. And again, check しましょう。Barry はI've forgotten what it was. Pinku genitis. Barry wa赤です. Barry wa 赤です. Barry is red. You could also ask the students to, can you create another sentence using this little language chunk? Barry wa hot dog desu. Barry wa tabemono desu. So lots of variations that you can make on that. Now, that's just a couple of examples, keeping this Express PD express, but you can extend that to include lots of extra details such as the age, where they live, what they like, the personality that they have. Are they happy? Are they sad? Their hobbies. There's lots of things that you can add to this one-word image process. For me, with the young students that I'll be teaching next week, I will just be keeping it very simple, and we can always extend on this the following week. But I hope that that gives you a bit of an idea of how you can go through the one-word image process. If you find this a helpful tool to have for you and for your students, you can find it at Teachers Pay Teachers, or reach out to me at Japanesey Reads. Okay, until next time, Gambari Masho.